guys are giving them your energy in the chat, as HSL absolutely needs it right now.
That's right, you know, the fan support has actually been incredible for HSL. I mean, given especially that they are, you know, 0-5 right now, they actually have more fans on their side of the arena. We don't really talk about the fans too often, but, you know, there's a lot of support here in the arena. They need it. Paris, a map where controlling this choke on A is often what determines what the time bank will be. We see very rarely B defenses on this map, even in this meta. It's really just a question of time bank and how much you're able to shave off on A. You know, it hasn't always been that way, but in this meta, it certainly can feel that way permanently. HSL first attack here. Zapri showing the Tracer. May just be that scout we saw with the teleport into Blink, so you can recall back. Then you could just come over and swap. So sees no bash, and the recall sends him home, and he'll just be able to swap. A little bit faster to use Sombra, most would argue, but
yeah, I would like to see somebody actually timing that to see if that is a net gain overall. Either way, will be the Reaper coming in with a Pharah out now from Fisher. Talon not running any sort of Bastion. It'll just be the standard here for these guys.
Nice halt.
Yeah. Going to be the first one to fall, so we'll see if he comes back in with the Doomfist or if he tries to swap over onto the McCree. Doom obviously going to be able to rejoin into the fight a lot faster. Rocket's going down, nearly gets rid of Mango Giant. It's going to be a swap over onto the Tracer for Pattyfon as he gets ready to rejoin in. Just now leaving the spawn. Magora, however, going to get taken down as Zapri comes up with two, getting rid of both tanks. Now support's falling as well for Talon Esports. This is a very strong first volley for HSL as they make their way over onto point A.
Fisher just controlling the skies. There's not a great response. Barely missed was Gagora's equation. If you go back and look, you see the rock fly just past Fisher's face there. Had that connected, we would have seen a completely different fight. Pattyfon swapped to the Tracer to come back to the point. Now he's on over to May, but HSL is just one step ahead, already swapping up the composition. It's very difficult to use Pharah on B. Didn't have a rocket barrage, didn't do that much damage in the fight. Before the 12% ult nerf, you know, might have been closer. But at this point, you know, you're just hoping to stay one step ahead. And look at this, already on the point, positional advantage.
Make their way forward. Patty has swapped over onto the Doomfist to match off the May as soon as he saw Fisher coming through with it. And Fisher is the first one to fall. Still playing forward right now, though, are HSL, but seems like they're going to have to abandon this one. Don't want to be committing ults in a very lost fight, but they managed to get a tick for free, essentially.
Yeah, Talon here with a solid defense, and they have, obviously, you know, a slight lead in terms of ult economy, almost the big six coming online here, whereas HSL is missing some critical ones for what could be, you know, a longer fight here. But HSL with this time bank can play passively, could try to trick Talon into using their ultimates early. We all know Mango Jai has been a little bit trigger happy with that coalescence, so that's one thing they could certainly trade out here to come back with a better ult economy for the next push. This isn't the one they're trying to win with, excuse me.
Pushing forward, ult's going to be coming down. Hear that Gravitic Flux coming up from Chow, but seems like interrupted, doesn't find anything as Zapri will be taken down. Fisher manages to find the enemy Reaper, so to trade out on those. Doomfist on either side, doing some serious work. Flux comes down. That's going to be Fisher and Ding both disappearing as they will just get cleaned up again. Talon Esports holding strong for now, but still 4 minutes that they have to go through.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I mean, HSL, you know, they didn't lead into kind of what I was talking about in terms of trading up, you know, doing, you know, what we call an eco push, forcing Talon to use their ultimates while holding onto theirs. They looked for the flux kills with the coalescence, which gave Mango Jai the better coalescence. Obviously, he had the defender's advantage there. Gagoric takes the later flux there and helps clean up the spawn advantage that Talon had. So HSL, an expensive failure here, you could say, in terms of how many ultimates they had to use and where they still stand here. Talon looking for the bashful flank once again, and they do not see him.
Saves that away. Fisher going to be taken down, unable to cancel out that rocket punch from Patty. Follows up with another one onto Askov.
And that was also, Bashful wasn't really involved in that fight. That was essentially Talon winning a 5v6 with Zapri's commitment there to the ultimate, the Death Blossom. Death Blossom can be a liability. You can get stunned out of it. You can get caught while you're using it. You're very vulnerable in the ultimate itself if you just try to brute force your way through. And Zapri's picked early because of it, doesn't get value. And Bashful didn't even have to use that flanking ultimate. He's setting up at a different angle this time, doesn't want to use the same one twice. but he can teleport behind this team after they go left. There's so many different ways that right now Talon can use one ult per defense to keep that ult advantage.
And Bashful now just going to be waiting underneath the window, see if anyone wants to push out, try to take them down. So far seems like they're not aware of him, but now they drop in. They do manage to find that accretion stun onto Bashful, but they're unable to capitalize and find the kill. And Blossom comes out, doesn't find any kills here for the Talon Esports, but everyone going to be kept alive for now with the help of that sound barrier from CQB. But he himself will be eliminated by Zapray, who comes up with a double kill, taking out Bashful, now a triple, getting rid of Mangojai. Both support's going to be taken out. Now Muse going to be the only one left alive here for the side of Talon Esports, and he does not stand a chance. They clean him up. Remember, they already started with a single tick. Can anyone tag in? Answer is yes. It was CQB. The recall comes in now from Body. Has to get back over onto the point with this Tracer swap. Mortality Field's going to be finished off. Bashful going to be gone. Rabbinic Flux comes in. They get slammed back down, but the kills just are not there for Talon Esports. And that will be the finish here on Paris for HSL with 1 minute and 57 seconds remaining.
They're finally able to trade up in that fight by forcing CQB to use the sound barrier earlier, then thus, of course, empowering Shower's follow-up Gravitic Flux. And it's in moments like those where you feel like you finally got the plan to come together, and Bashful wasn't able to get the flank he wanted to prevent that from happening. You know, he was always trying to be kind of the wrench in the cogs there, so to speak, for the HSL pushes. 2 minutes is the time bank, and it was a lot of time bought there for Talon. If they can have a great A push here, you know, there's a very good chance of a double cap, you know, as we were alluding to earlier. But HSL, they feel alive, right? You know, it feels right now like this might be the beginning of a comeback if they could just have a solid defense on A. The question, of course, becomes what heroes will they use? We talked about the Bastion going into this map pick, and Zapray's locked it in here already, is sending it over to that choke. You will have the double barrier. This is kind of a new age bunker setup where you have the Orisa, you have the mobile barrier, the experimental barrier there with the Sigma. So it becomes very difficult to break. Patifon is going to be using the Sombra variation of scouting. We saw the Tracer used just moments before. And once they do scout this, we'll see if Talon wants to just try to break this with the Mei wall, you know, to try to get around, or if they're actually going to try to go for some sort of dive, the Doomfist most common. Gagora's teasing a Wrecking Ball, but I don't think we'll see it. I think it's just going to be a scout.
Well, yeah, we'll just go ahead and rely on Patti to do the scouting here with the Sombra.
Yeah, I'm just going to scout this out. We'll teleport back, and we'll see if it's the Mei or something else entirely. Will be the Mei.
Okay.
So nothing really shocking here out of Talon, but they get the information quickly. And we'll see if HSL can deal with this. You know, they did pretty well on Hollywood, obviously, with their Bastion attack, but this is something completely different. You're not mobile.
Coming in, the wall to cut them off. Barriers up in front. Holt not going to be able to find anything here, and they just kind of have to hug this wall to try and stay alive. Fuse nearly getting taken out. Holt comes in.
Great Holt.
Again, a lot of damage being pushed forward. Unable to find those picks, but still softening up the members of Talon Esports. Bionade out from Zink, manages to catch Gagora. He doesn't fall yet, however, and slowly gets topped back up. Coalescence going to be built up very rapidly by Mangojai. Pops that one instantly, and Zapray, he is hosed down. Now Askov is going to fall as well. Seems like it's going to be another very fast cap onto point A, this time in favor of Talon Esports.
And it's a lot wider on B. I think HSL will have to change their composition. They should be able to keep the Mei for the Blizzard. They know they have the faster Blizzard as well, but the Bastion is going to be so difficult to execute. This was really nicely done by Talon, just using that Coalescence there, knowing that the Immortality Field isn't going to be available there to save Zapray. You always want that to be when your Bastion has that critical health. That's when it comes out, but it just isn't there. And once again, Zapray dies early, and it's looking dire right now. They're going to keep the Bastion, but this is so easily broken once Talon gets those ultimates online. They know they don't have them yet, so we might just see him hold it for the tank, but this is risky. This starts to fall apart. I mean, it falls apart like a deck of cards,
well,
or house of cards.
They already get the Mei wall out. That is absolutely huge. So Fisher unable to lock anybody off and isolate them. So now the wall comes in as they push forward and try to get that wrap around. Bashful harassing Ding as he sits back over towards the spawn. Those are going to be dumped in by Fisher. Patty trying to get the freeze there on his Zapray is unable to do so. It's going to be 2 kills now for over to the side of HSL. Zapper just sitting pretty here with the Bastion, completely unhindered.
This is the push where you're not worried, though, as HSL, right? You know you had the Blizzard advantage. You know you had the Flux advantage. You did more damage in the last fight despite losing A. You were able to build more ultimates. That's how bunker compositions work. Now things start to get scary, though. Now's the time you start worrying. You don't have that emergency Blizzard anymore. You know you have configuration tank, but it can be nullified. You can be hit by a rock. You can be frozen in ultimate. And Talon is about to have a ton online, especially that supercharger makes this so potent, this big ult push. HSL needs to stop this with a really good configuration tank.
Start pushing their way around the back again. Blizzard about to be available for Patty. Huge. Zhao can deny that with the kinetic grasp. We've only seen that a couple of times in the Overwatch League, so very rare one. Nano Boost does get thrown in with that Amp Matrix. Everyone playing away from the sightlines of this Bastion, however, denying that damage. Now Zhao going to be taken down. Configuration tank comes in. The Blizzard going to be layered in. They're all frozen. Supercharger and everyone on the side of HSL just going to be getting dropped. That is the effective wipe as Zhao swaps over onto the Wrecking Ball just to try to buy a bit more time. Already 2 ticks going to be gained for the side of Talon Esports. That will be the finish. 3 minutes and 37 seconds for them to the 1 minute and 57 seconds of HSL.
Yeah, 140, the better time bank. We know that, as already proven in this series, that doesn't always lead you to victory.
I mean, Talon just proved that on Hollywood.
Yeah, but at the same time, this is a map where things can snowball out of hand. And it's, again, one of these fights. When we go back to how they lost control at that point, it was when they committed all their ultimates, the Nano Boost, the Amplification Matrix, right? And Talon puts up the wall. You see Potifon put up his wall for just a moment, and then they use the map's terrain. They don't actually try to kill Zapray in this moment. They use the pillars, they use the walls, so everything is put into the Bastion. He has to move in order to find damage, and that just defeats the entire setup. Talon then commits into the point with their Blizzard and slams down on the Bastion when he's at his most vulnerable. So a really nice, twice now we've seen Talon against this Amplification Matrix Bastion really shut it down. And I think this is, tough for HSL because they're probably thinking this team's potentially because of their communication issues that, everyone's been talking about, right? Will they be able to adapt on the fly? The answer is yes. In this series, they have certainly been able to shut down this Bastion Cop. They shut down the Junkrat. It just seems like they're ready for anything. We are going to see a Pharah setup here, so already changing it up.
I think we just stopped using the term communication issues.
Yeah.
Because it seems like there are none. It's just so well fleshed out for them. Zapray, again, going to be using the Tracer. Start making up his mind, though. We'll just be back over onto the Reaper.
Yeah. I mean, on that note, we have the Guangzhou Charge doing pretty well in Overwatch League. There's a lot of teams like this that do make it work.
True.
With multinational rosters. So anyway, Bashful's got a nice angle over here, and he can actually threaten the back line. We're even going to see Xiao come out with the Diva here. Very rare in this meta, but great versus the Pharah. If you can make this work, it's his most famous hero over his career. The Flex tank player from Russia. And, it'd be great to see him utilize it here, but he's already at low health.
Yeah, a lot of damage going through, but Bashful just hounded down.
There he goes.
Healing just was not enough, and I don't think they're going to be able to get a res off right now. Zhao, he is ticking up on that point. Potifon manages to find 1 kill as Fisher does get eliminated. The first tick going to be snatched up free by HSL as they play away from the point. Coalescence is out. It seems like Talon are going to be the ones holding out in the long run for this push. They'll be able to stave off HSL. They're going to have to reset and go again as they now have 45 seconds remaining, but they managed to pick up 53.6%.
Yeah, they just don't have great tools to break open the point and not a lot of time. Fisher's going to swap over to Mei. You have to expect Chao is going to be swapping back over to the Sigma as well.
I think you need to just stick with it. The mitigation is going to be too huge. They know that barrage is going to be coming up.
You just lose so much damage that way, though, in the fight itself. And you're not going to have much for B if you even get there. It's a risky choice. They're committing to it. Hopefully you can get a pick again here onto Bashful before this barrage is ready, or perhaps absorb it. Either way, they've got 1 shot at this and 1 shot alone. Barrage is ready. The D-Matrix is going to have to be perfect through the choke, and they can't even see it.
They should know that he is going to be hovering directly above. They have to come through this way. It's too late to reroute. The Maywall comes in. Bashful already takes away 1. Zapray going to fall. See, popping that ult. Accretion takes down Ascom. There's the barrage. Bashful manages to get rid of Henningsen. The justice is raining down from above as Ding will be eliminated, and that will be it. The closeout on the attack. They get 53.6%, I do believe, on point A. Talon now just have to exceed that if they want to shut HSL out of the Gauntlet.
HSL saying they wanted to hold the Gauntlet trophy at the end of this tournament. They may go winless right now, but a lot of teams, famous legendary teams, eliminated in this arena. You know, Eye of the Kaiser knocking LW Blue out of the Season 2 finals for Apex. You know, they went home unhappy that day. Taimu's final match in Apex against Afrika, where he left the studio without a handshake to Afrika. GC Busan 6-0ing Lunatic High, eliminating them from their potential final Apex finals in Season 4. Huge upset at the time, and Lunatic High ended up losing both of those series. This is an arena where we've seen a lot of hardship. This is an arena where a lot of people, and some people that are famous right to this day, Jaehong, you know, Taimu still up there, have lost. And for HSL, they're trying to prove themselves, and it's going to be a long, long journey from here. They'll have to reverse sweep this series, win another, and it's going to be a rough time in playoffs. It all has to start with this defense.
It has to start right now in this very moment as the doors open up. 3 minutes and 37 seconds is what they have to hold off Talon Esports for. It's 53.7% built up on point A for HSL. If they can stop that from happening, pick up a map and keep the dream alive for the European fans watching from home.
All right, walls up here. Opportunity for Talon. They have to stay back.
Blocked off Chow. Didn't actually block off Zapray, so he gets a little bit of damage in. Now push over onto the staircase. Barrier comes in, denying the freeze away from Fisher. And into the back line comes Bashful. Immortality Field is there. Should not going to connect. Still get taken down. That's a very strong start for HSL. Exactly what they needed. Extremely
good defense here. The bio grenade was solid to start things off. You see the commitment there to eliminating Bashful, so he can't maximize the damage. He has to Wraith Walk early. He's picked off. Good target selection, good shot calling on HSL. It's been missing throughout this series, is picking off those critical targets when they're making their go move. The DPS is usually, in general, the ones they want to grab but haven't been able to. And finally, those very important opening picks. They're leading the ult economy. Zapray's almost got the tank shots ready to go, and the Blizzard is so far away.
Experimental barrier out again. Maywall's going to be used. Zapray looking to chunk that one down. Sees the ice block. Kinetic Grasp going to be used by Gagora. Gets a ton of shielding. About 2/3 of his HP from that Bastion.
It's going to force them to reposition because they know they can't stay there any longer.
Still in behind the barrier here. Maywall going to be used. Bashful falling low again. Gets forced into that rainform, but he just can't quite get up on top of Zapray. Mortality Field now coming out with a configuration tank. Mortality Field going to be finished off, and the kills just aren't there yet for either side. Those are going to be used. Fisher laying that one down, looking to free some members. Will be able to do so. Gora takes shot after shot to the dome. Fisher finishes him off. Potty now going to fall, and it's 1 minute and 35 seconds remaining for Talon Esports. They have not gotten a single percentage on this point yet.
And they, because of the barrier placement, Henningsen and Chow are absolutely nailing it so hard right now. The DPSs are so far away from those critical ultimates they need. If they get a Blizzard, that's a win condition. If they can get a Gravitic Flux, that's a win condition, but they can't get them. They're not able to do damage. HSL is repositioning extremely well. This Bastion comp is finally working the way it's designed to, the way they've practiced and scrimmed it to.
Bouncing the spheres in around the corner.
Nice wall here, and now they could set up for a Flux as the point unlocks, or as they try to approach it. Here it is.
Immortality Fields have already been used. Flux goes up into the air, manages to catch through the drop back down, but Sappern's going to fall. Hughes manages to find the kills, and Coalescence rolls out from Mango Giant. Bashful, however, going to get finished off. The accretion from Chow finds the kill. Sound barrier invested from the side of Talon Esports. The Blizzard thrown in as well, as Potty holds on by a sliver of HP. Now Chow is going to fall. The first tick is almost there. Henningsen is gone. The tank line is broken down. The supports are dying as well. It looks so good here on Paris for HSL. Look like maybe they could put that map on the board, but not today, says Talon Esports. They will not be eliminated. They will take this lower bracket match in convincing fashion and advance. But for now, for HSL, their gauntlet run is over.
This is a statement for the Pacific region, nearly taking out Element Mystic and then following up with a 3-0 over HSL. For the entirety of the Contenders program, most are considered Europe to be the stronger region But today, they fall down 0-6 here in the old Apex Arena. And it's a tough time to be a European Overwatch fan right now after a top Atlantic showdown. This was not an easy group. These are the best Contenders players in the world. But HSL will have to go home winless, not taking a single map.
Talon will come into the booth, exchange their handshakes here. Hugs coming through as well, which is always good to see. HSL should still feel proud. At the end of the day, maybe they don't take away a series, but they are the sole representative of Europe. They were the ones, they were the best from their region to make it here.
And Fischer and Henningsen will represent Denmark, of course, in the 2019 Overwatch World Cup. Xiao as well for Russia. This won't be the last you see of them this year. They will have an opportunity on a bigger stage later this year if their representative countries do succeed. And there's always 2020. It's just an unfortunate finish. Nobody wants to go home on day one. But if you don't perform, that's Overwatch. It's a competitive game. It's hard. And if you don't perform, you do get punished.
Yeah. That is just how it is at the end of the day. HSL can't quite get that victory on the board, so unfortunate for these guys. We'll of course have, other European representation in this tournament because, a lot of North American teams as well love to embrace the Europeans. So it's not like Europe is completely out of this one. There's still some opportunities, but as far as a European organization, this is the end of the line for the Gauntlet.
That's right. And, I think a lot of people are going to want to draw grand generalizations about Europe as a region because of this performance. I don't think it's fair to say that. They didn't lose. They didn't win in Atlantic, so they only had one representation. They had, obviously, Giganti is a very strong team. British Hurricane didn't make it here either. And as you alluded to, so many of the North America teams are filled with Europeans. There's a lot of Europeans in the Overwatch League. So before anyone pulls out the pitchforks and says Europe's the worst region, SEA greater than Europe or anything like that, let's just remember reality, okay?
Yeah.
Let's take a step back. Let's zoom out for a moment and say, yes, Europe is eliminated in terms of contenders regions in this tournament, but that that doesn't mean that Europe is a weak region.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure Jaws and Legday going to give you a hug for saying that one when we pass him in the back hallway here. And Trid as well, who's been watching from the audience, will be very relieved to hear those kind words from you, Wolf, as well as the players from HSL who did have a good run coming into this tournament. And I really look forward to seeing several of those guys in the World Cup as well as what they can do in Contenders come 2020, if not in the Overwatch League.
That's right.
You never know if they're going to get brought up to that level.
I think, right now people are going to be looking at Talon a lot closer than they were before,
for sure.
Given how they have performed today. I mean, who knows how far they could go. They might get a revenge match on Elite Mystic later on in the tournament. They'll have to get out of this group first.
That they do, but we're going to have an interview getting ready to come up here, guys. We can hear from one of the members of Talon Esports and get their thoughts on the matter, see how they feel after that victory and after they, keep their hopes alive. This is the second series they had to play today. Same goes for HSL, but they come out victorious. So got to be feeling a bit relieved, I would expect, in this moment.
Yeah, it's been really cool that we've had Miro here doing the interviews as well, formerly of Seoul Dynasty and Lunatic High. Retired as a pro gamer, one of the best Winstons in the world in his time. And now is doing some commentary, doing some streaming. So I'm really excited to see, pros transition into that broadcast role. It's going to happen, of course, outside of Korea as well. Yeah,
he's been stepping into our side of the Overwatch hemisphere, I suppose. So really good to see and really good that we could have him a part of this. I think it's really cool for these Tier 2 players to kind of come in here and see, the godfather of Winston, the Apex legend Miro being the one giving the interview. I mean, that's not really something you see too often. But let's go ahead.